Welcome back in, everybody. Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy.
Ortiz takes a left. And a punch to the right. Down goes Kuchar. No, Kuchar's up.
So
Kuchar's running. He's circling. Kuchar's in the corner. Ortiz comes back strong. Kuchar versus Ortiz,
funny.
man. I just heard, during the break, I heard Jim Rome's rant, and he's definitely not on Kuchar's side at all. You know what's sad? He's out playing in Riviera and getting heckled, right? Kuchar is getting heckled. Although it's said by a bunch of drunk people, so I wasn't there, so I don't know how drunk they were or not. But you know, it's not the 16th hole at Phoenix.
Yes,
they're out making a living. I don't believe this guy deserves to be heckled. We don't know the deal, but I can tell you that he's apologized recently. But there's a couple of things too. So this is Kuchar beginning. He said, "We had a great week. By all accounts, they did. Kuchar won for the first time and referred to Ortiz as his good luck charm." Right? So, and Ortiz said, "Matt's a good person, a great player. He treated me very well, and I'm only disappointed of how it all finished out, how it turned out." He says Ortiz acknowledged he never expected a 10% payday for a win, but he thinks $50,000 is fair. Kuchar's team turned him flat down, offered him 15, which the other guy turned down. Right? Ortiz turned down. But
that was apparently agreed upon.
The 15 was more than was apparently agreed upon.
Right.
So that was like a bonus. Here you go. I'll give you a bonus. This is more. And Kuchar thought that was fair.
So what this comes down to is Kuchar's quote.
Yep.
About that's a good week. Right.
And he was a good luck charm.
And the differential between what Kuchar earned, excuse me.
Right. And now that this uproar and it's hurting, it really does affect Kuchar. Everybody thinks it doesn't affect him. He finally says it did. He said there's a lot of comments out there that are very insensitive, making bad decisions. Worse, social media people made it seem like marginalizing David Ortiz in his financial situation was not the intention. It was never his intention to marginalize his financial situation. So he's been so upset by it that he's agreed now to the total $50,000. So, which was not the original agreement. That's what Ortiz thought was fair. So he said, and right here said, I have made sure that he says in my situation, he says I plan on to call David Ortiz tonight, something that's long overdue, to apologize for the situation that he's been put in, and I've made sure that he receives the full total that he has requested, the total of $50,000. Which this writer says, hey, it's better late than never. For my fans, as well as fans of the game, I want to apologize to you for not representing the values instilled in this incredible sport. Golf is a game where we call penalties on ourselves. I should have done that a long time ago and not let this situation escalate. He's also going to make an undisclosed donation to that tournament for their charities, for that tournament that he won, the one in Mexico.
I just think I find it so odd. I understand why people are giving these reasons, but I find it so odd that the caddy goes, well, I think this is what it's worth, and therefore Matt needs to pay it. If I said that to my employer, he'd go, there's a door.
In all seriousness, I think you're worth a lot more than you're probably being paid. That's my opinion.
Doesn't everybody?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
I know, but I'm just coming.
But there's an agreement.
There was, exactly.
Right.
And Kuch went, 3 times above the agreement.
My father always told me every business relationship has to be a win-win. It has to be. You have to accept it, and so do the employers.
Yeah.
If you both agree, then that's how you make the deal. If you're not happy with the agreement as an employer, don't go there. If you're not happy with the agreement as an employer, don't hire.
How does the caddy suddenly say, again, I like Ortiz, I understand the situation. If it was me, I would do the same thing. I'd give more money. But how can the caddy go, 50,000 is okay? And now everybody's railing on Kuchar. What they're railing on Kuchar about is what he said. And that's what put him in the wrong.
He apologized for that.
And that put him in the wrong spot. That put him in the wrong light. If he doesn't say that, and I'm not saying that Ortiz isn't even
all he said was making $5,000 is a great week.
And that offends a lot of people.
He said, and especially for a guy who makes $200 a day, $5,000 is a really big week. Fact.
Yeah, there's nothing. You can't dispute that.
And it had nothing to do with the country and Mexico and the Mexicans. It had nothing to do with that. Dave Marr brought that in. And on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio, but he didn't. Kuchar didn't. But there is that unwritten, 10% for a win. That's not everybody to do that. That's common.
Right.
And if you're in the top 10, it's 5% more or something like that. So
yeah, but that has to be part of the agreement. He's not his regular caddy.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, guy's got one of the best players. I think it was a great deal. If he came in 5th, would he have been saying the same thing? If he came in the 14th, would he have been saying the same thing? So the issue was that he won, and somebody said, "Hey, dude, you're owed $120,000."
Right.
Right? You should think,
Right.
and Kuchar, like you said, if it was me too, they brought up how much money Kuchar's made in his lifetime. Who cares? He's good.
Right.
He's earned this. He is.
If I had won for the first time in 4 years with that guy, even though I had the agreement, now what I would have done is if I said, hey, you're going to get an additional 15, I probably would have doubled it. But that's what I would have done.
Yeah, that's up to the individual, right?
But it's all individual based. You don't know. But hey, hey Dave, thanks for listening to our rant.
Hey Dave.
Hi guys.
Where are you, man? You calling from an airport or something? What are you doing?
I'm up in Sacramento right now.
Awesome. Love that place. What are you doing up there?
Watching it rain.
It's beautiful here.
It's my brother-in-law, sister-in-law's 40th anniversary. We're going to have a big party today.
Oh, nice, man.
How many? Mike can tell you how many days that is. So we're glad you called. We've been talking about Kuchar versus Ortiz, the big.
Yeah, I've been listening to you for about 5 minutes about it, and there are two sides of the story, and I don't know. I really think you ought to triple my wages for calling in.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's Yeah. Imagine if everybody did that.
And we have a decision to ever take a call and do business with you or pay you what you want. I mean, I'm being serious. If he thinks it's worth more, there needs to be a negotiation and a deal made.
Right.
But you can't just pop it in. Hey, by the way, I had a great interview. You should pay me another $30 or another $5. See what I'm saying? It can't be having you have a deal. A deal's a deal.
Here's another example. There may be another example, like if we got the partnership with Dave, and all of a sudden we find out Dave gets hundreds of thousands of dollars from it. And we're like, oh, we know we need to change that deal. We need a percentage of that.
We're pretty sure he does.
And we need we need a bigger percentage of that.
It's disappearing somewhere if he does.
Like the crank driver that he has. He starts selling thousands of crank drivers, and we just go, well, you've been on the show, so you know what? We think you owe us another 30%.
And on the other hand, if he doesn't sell any, he can say to us, hey, this relationship isn't working.
Yeah.
So that's what deals are.
Exactly.
And this is not a long-term deal with Ortiz. It was a week deal. Here we go. Let's go have some fun. Let's do this. Plus, he's with Cooch, right? He's going to get, everybody at the club's going to be going, oh, man, awesome. Oh, man, cool, right?
Right.
Right, I'm serious.
Right, yeah.
I think that would be a highlight for sure. Right. I would caddy for him for $5,000.
I would too.
Right, I would. I'd caddy for him for $5,000 next week. I can't walk. I'd have a cart.
One thing nobody's brought up is what Kuch's expenses are.
And they're tons.
Yes.
Guy, okay, wins $1 million. Okay, taxes. Now he's got $500,000.
Hotels, his entourage,
travel, and lodging, and all that. My goodness, those guys spend so much money out there.
Well, there's no question. A lot more than you're right, Dave. They do, and and he gives so his manager gets a piece of that. Right? It's not just his caddy. Yeah. His manager gets a chunk, and that could be up to 20% plus taxes. So, you're absolutely right. They don't know that, right? You don't know that's netting. It's a good week for sure. It is.
Exactly.
Right?
Oh, he did well, but, he's not making $1 million.
No, he's not. You're right. He's not.
That's very true.
And this guy that normally might make $600 a week, $5,000 is a great week. It is.
Oh, Jesus, fantastic.
Plus the stories.
Well, it's even better if Cooch has offered you another $15,000 to $20,000.
And then I'm going to show up and say, who was that caddy for Cooch? I want him.
Right.
So his business
that
is
was
going way up.
That was a whole nother angle that I was thinking.
I want Ortiz, man. Where's Ortiz? I want to hear Ortiz's stories. Not now. I don't want to hear his stories now.
His future endeavors with other caddies. His future endeavors maybe with Kuchar.
He could have got a Sketcher deal.
Yeah, he could have.
If all this thing turned out all right.
He's doing a lot of walking.
He's been walking.
He's carrying. You
don't want him as a caddy. What's your fee? Such and such. Okay, expect more.
Yeah, that's why. So we're in the business part of it, but I think Dave would have done the same thing, and I can't speak for you, Dave, but I would have given a bonus too. I don't know what it would have been, but it would have been cool. Hey, we won. This is great. I'd get him a little copy of the trophy. You can get the miniature trophy thing. I could do that. Give him some extra cash, which he did a little bit, and say, man, if I come back next year, let's do this again.
Right.
That would have been a cool way of ending that thing.
Very cool.
Now they go back. It's a media frenzy. What's going to happen next year?
Well, what's going to happen next year.
Champion.
Because he's just known as being the nicest guy on the planet.
And you would think if he wasn't, you think he was a closeted nice guy or there was an issue going on, he would have come out by now. Right? It would. He's been out there forever.
Right.
It would have come out by now.
And you know what's going to happen next year. Oh, you can already write the headlines on what's going to happen next year.
Let me hear him, man.
Oh, Kuchar doesn't use Ortiz for the for the tournament because he's still mad. He's been mad for a whole year. It goes on and on and on. And Kuchar's regular caddy is really pissed off that Kuchar's even considering Ortiz. I mean, you can spin it any way you want to spin it. It's going to go a million different directions. And now that the unfortunate part is next year it's not going to be about the positive, the fact that a caddy who jumped in with Kuchar for a week and they won. It's going to be about all this other crap that's going on right now, about he said, she said, and somebody else throwing in another saying to make the thing worse, the whole situation worse. I mean, it's just that the whole thing's just a friggin' mess. It shouldn't be that. You go back to you got an agreement, and the agreement was made, and then it's up to Kuchar whether he pays him more money. That's his choice.
And he's
it's not our choice.
He's really apologized too. And I just read this other quote, Dave. He said, Ortiz has never made that much money in a week. He doesn't know that for a fact, which is kind of tough. And he says he'll never make that much money in a week again. Not many people do. That's quote. So Kuchar was a little upset by this whole thing, and you can see in that little sentence.
I'm sure.
And he apologized for that because he never meant to.
And it's probably true.
It probably is true. But he said, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to demean what he made." He didn't. That's what you can. And he apologizes for that. I said, that's not what I meant. And it was, and social media went all over that. But, maybe that guy won't. You're right, Dave. Maybe he will never make that much money. He probably will now, right? The whole world's going to want that guy to caddy.
Totally.
I mean, he's got millions of hits. And
right? You know what I suggest to Ortiz? Work a better deal.
Work
a better deal next year with whoever you get. Work a better deal. Don't leave yourself open-ended to, if you think you're worth $50,000 for a win, that should have been discussed in the deal because you were going to get an extra $15,000 or $20,000 if you won.
Yeah.
That's so maddening to me because there's no parameter. There's no the structure of everything just went out the window. Right. Anybody can be attacked.
Well, and another thing is caddy-player relationships are always kept very hush-hush.
That's true. That's what I was trying to say that
Nobody
earlier.
knows what anybody makes out there. And that's the way it is. It's kind of like
the way it should
when a player is penalized or fined, they never bring that up. It's a very private thing, and this should be too.
And and you're so right there because it's not only everybody's different too. Some caddies don't even regular caddies don't help the player very much. They're there for moral support, and they're there to keep them. They tell a joke or talk.
Right,
but they're not reading greens. They're not doing
shut up.
Yeah, pick up and shut up. Exactly, and that's okay. That's what the player wants. I don't want help with the greens.
Right.
And even DJ says, what's the yardage? What's the club? Where's the wind? Let me hit it. Right. And then you've got DeChambeau there that's going all nuts with his system. So everybody's different and have different caddies. So of course they're paid differently. If you're going to pick it up, help me out. Keep me calm, this is worth X. If you're going to help me, we're going to be a team. Like Jordan always says he has a team. Him and his caddy, they're a team. And I'm sure he's paid well because he's a team. Right?
Well, and there had to be an agreement.
It's kept private, though.
And they're all kept private.
That's my point, is it's always kept private. Nobody talks about what they pay their manager, what they pay their caddy, what they pay their trainer, what they pay. They don't talk about that. And so this should be the same way.
Exactly. I think
the first handle it behind the scenes, and it's over.
The first who ever did, I think, was Stevie Williams when he was upset with Tiger when he left Tiger, and he wrote a book or he came out and wrote and started talking about the pay, and Tiger's also known to have been pretty cheap at times. So that's just I'm saying that from I've read that
from the book,
and he started talking numbers, and I think that's the first time I ever heard what a caddy would make. I've heard no one's ever reported that I know of, right? I mean, Dave, I don't know.
There's rumors about the 10%, 8%, and you hear different numbers, and they say this is standard, but then even those numbers vary. So it should be just, here's your money, see you later, and nobody should have said a word. And if the caddy spoke up, Cooch should have just stuck his nose somewhere else, and everybody would have just forgot it.
That's kind of what his manager.
And there's two things. One, Ortiz was not his regular caddy, so there was an agreement made for the week. There had to be. It's not his regular caddy. There was an agreement. It was made. So
I guarantee he went to the caddy master and said, I need a caddy. Anybody around here really good? And they said, this Ortiz kid's pretty good. So okay, cool. And he pulled Ortiz over and say, "What do you say? Here's $2,000 if I play, $3,000 if I make the cut, $4,000 if I come in top 10."
Yeah, that's kind of what it was.
Great.
Yeah, he's going, "Oh, this is awesome."
That's exactly it.
And Kuchar hasn't won in 4 years, so the guy's thinking, okay, if you come in top 10,
he's not going to make the cut.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
There's some truth to that, and now this guy's going to be more famous than ever. He's going to be doing okay. I just feel bad for Kuch because a deal was made, and I hope it doesn't. Social media is nasty. Just nasty.
I feel bad for the whole situation.
People are
honestly,
nasty.
I really do. I'm not saying that Ortiz is a bad guy either. I think it's just when you talk about just business in general. If you work at a place and you've got a contract with your employer,
Yeah.
you have time to negotiate it because you're working there full time. This was not a full time agreement.
Hey, during the break, can you and I talk about agreements?
Yeah, we should.
All right.
We really should.
Dave,
We've been putting it off for a long time.
No,
but the other part, like you guys brought up, it's a perfect example. Every golfer that's out there is not the same financially. They're not all the same financially. There's so many ones out there
that barely and doing well that are barely making money.
Yeah.
The 125 who keeps his card is barely breaking even. Dave knows
and
that.
People are going to say
barely breaking even.
People are going to say we're playing the violin for the golfer who makes a ton of money. That's not it. It's the week by week situations that happen. If you have to bring in an independent contractor where you work, they have a contract for the week.
That's it.
If they fill it in for somebody because one of your employees is sick or whatever, you've got them coming in. There's an agreement made prior to them coming and stepping on the property and working wherever they're working for you. And then if the employer decides after that week is done or whatever the term of the contract is, like, hey, this person was great, I want to give them a little extra cash. They're going to do it based on what they can do from their resources as an employer. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't agree. I know the way what you said with the way Matt reacted in some of the quotes, and that's in the heat of the moment.
And he's going to. And the sad part is he's going to learn from that and not say a lot of things anymore.
Exactly.
He's going to withdraw from talking to media or somebody, and that's a bummer because he's always been great with media.
Exactly.
He's been a warm guy.
That's what I mean. I feel bad. I do feel bad for Ortiz.
Or they're going to lose him, I should say.
Yeah. I feel bad for Ortiz. I feel bad for Kuchar. I feel bad for the whole situation because, like you said earlier, Billy, a lot of the stuff we have to be general on because we don't really know. So many things have been reported. You don't really know exactly.
And at today's point, we really shouldn't know.
No.
It should have just been happened what it did, and I don't know if it was Mr. Ortiz that blew it out of proportion either.
Well, I think there's one thing we can
tied into his ear.
There's one thing we can guarantee.
What?
Kuchar and Ortiz were paired up together, and Ortiz caddied for him.
Yep.
And there had to be an agreement between Kuchar and Ortiz of some kind that, like what you guys mentioned, if we finish here's what you're going to get paid. If we finish in the top 20, it's X, top 10, X, top 5, X, and if I win, X.
And it might hurt future golf course caddies when it's a situation this happens again.
Right.
The pro would be afraid to go take this guy.
Exactly.
Because he's going to draw. He has to have a lawyer to draw stuff up.
Exactly.
Instead of, hey, dude, come caddy for me. Let's have some fun.
And that's why I said I feel bad. I feel bad for those situations.
Yeah, if the tournament rolls around next year and somebody needs a caddy, he's going to be sitting.
Yeah, exactly.
But David, guess what? We have something in common with Phil Mickelson and you have something in common with Phil Mickelson. Phil's team.
Agreed.
Phil Mickelson's team called us and thanked us for putting a fire under Phil because of his amazing win last week at Pebble. Because
that was fantastic, wasn't it?
Oh my God, it was awesome.
Amazing.
But they showed your wedge, man, a lot, and they talked about the groove wedge, all the big toed wedge or whatever.
Yeah.
They actually mentioned it about 4 or 5 times during the telecast. And Dave was,
did they?
They did, man, and he would hit amazing shots. And did you see the 4 he made on 10 at Riviera that didn't count? Did you see that?
No.
He made a 4 on 10 out of 3 different bunkers, and he never putted. He drove it into the bunker, hit it to the back.
That's the hardest 250-yard par 4 in the world.
Well, he ironed it in the front bunker, bladed to the back bunker, chunked it. It was buried. Ran to the front bunker of the green now. And, the fairway bunker first, back bunker into the front bunker, and hold out the front bunker. And he made 4.
Perfect.
And
that's good for it.
But he had to count. He's like 4, and he's smiling, but he's laughing. I don't think they counted because the round was suspended and it wasn't completed or something. I don't know. But it was on. It's on YouTube. But but that wedge is getting all kinds of attention. And Mike was talking about the TaylorMade version of that. But it really was. And Phil was the pitch shots he hit at Pebble. That great round he played, that last round.
That was amazing.
Even though it took. Oh my God! What a great 7 under par with no bogeys, and they missed that little one on 17, which I think was the best shot he hit that first morning when he got out there.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh, how hard was that shot?
Dude, man.
You wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's freezing cold, and they say, here's a ball, good luck.
And he knocks it 8 feet.
And he hits it, 8 feet?
It was unbelievable. And then you know what? Paul did good, too. He knocked it just outside him. But it was impressive. And I just was really proud of him. And so, Phil, you're welcome. Dave, good job with the wedges. And you have those Callaway wedges, right? Dave?
At Monarch, we carry them, and we're selling them pretty good.
Same up at Paso.
And obviously they make them lefty.
People are liking them.
Yeah.
So I got to come try those things out because he was hitting pitch shots around that. He made that last round look good at Pebble. He just did, man.
Did you notice how he was hitting the ball, too? Everything, he was flighting it down.
Yeah, he knocked everything down and perfect direction.
And
distance control.
I don't know about you, Billy, but some of the greatest rounds I ever played were knockdown shots all day long.
I agree.
More people got to do that. It's just so much more controllable.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It just really is. And if you practice them a lot, you get confident in them. And that's the case. Some people don't practice them, so they shorten but speed up, and they lose tempo. So it's kind of interesting how he was. It was
and it's a
crisp little
shot to hit.
That's my full swing, by the way. What he was doing. That's where I'm at now. That's where
I'm at. Same thing.
That's my full move.
Hey, Dave, we got 1 minute left. We got a break. What's up with Slick Sticks? And you guys can get a hold of Dave, by the way, at Slick Sticks at 805-598-9993 is your key to better golf. Clubs, grips, repairs, adjusting loft and lies. Flight scope, and lessons at Monarch Dunes Golf Course in Napomo, California. What you got going on with you there, Dave, with Slick Sticks?
One thing I'm noticing is that new Fujikura Pro 2.0 shaft. It's one of those shafts, and I've only seen 2 or 3 of them in the last 20 years. It's one of those shafts that almost fits anybody. Wow. I'm just having a lot of success with it.
Nice.
Wow.
That sounds cool.
And it's, Fujikura is known for making their $400 and $500 shafts, but it's not ultra expensive. It's a couple of $100, which still is a lot of money for a shaft, but it just seems to do just about anything I want it to. It comes in a few different weights and all flexes, and if you just fit that part, it's a super shaft.
Wow,
Very cool.
Not a lot of money for Kuchar.
That's true.
I'll tell you what, I'll put one in your driver for $200. If you like it, I'll make it $400.
That's just funny.
All right, Dave. He's
Thanks,
Dave
bud.
Shimano, Slick Sticks, 805-598-9993. Thanks, Dave. We'll talk to you soon.
Always an honor, boys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
See you later. You're listening to Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy. You guys stay with us. We'll come back on the other side with Joke Around,
Balls
Ponder
Out.
This, and Balls Out. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Start the year